What's up, guys? Street Riders 209. What I have for you guys today is I will be showing you guys how to install a windshield banner. You guys see I have that decal on the side of the windshield that's coming off. I will be putting a windshield banner all across the bottom. It's a custom one that I'll be making right now, and this video is basically just on showing you guys how to install. I'm gonna try to do it all by myself, so single guy. I'm only gonna use tape to hold it in place, and then go at it a little bit at a time. I'm gonna use probably two, put a ladder here and a little stool on that side so I can get up there. I don't plan on standing on my roof, on my hood, or jumping on my hood at all. And show you guys kind of how to do it. I'm gonna be using what's called the hinge method, which is basically locking the whole decal right where I want it, measuring everything, and then putting a tape across the center, doing half of the decal first and then doing the other side. So let's get to it. Let me make the decal real quick. I'm going to be removing these decals also. And yeah, guys, join me and kind of learn something new. If you guys have never installed any bigger size decals, you want to watch this video. Alright guys, so all I'm going to be using, this is the decal right here. It's 55 inches long, made it 7 inches tall. Squeegee, some razor blades, some tape. This is called Rapid Tack. I'm going to be using this rather than water with soap. Reason why is because this is specially made for decal application. I'll have a link for this, in this down at the description. But a lot of people always over add dish soap or don't add enough, and if you don't get the consistency or the mixture just right, you'll have one hell of a time installing the decal. You could either ruin it or it just won't dry. You'll have a hard time peeling off the transfer paper, all kinds of different things that happen. Got some scissors too. So the first thing I'm gonna be doing is removing those decals right now. One thing I could tell you guys is try not to pick an extremely hot day. It's not that bad right now, but if you could be under shade, definitely helps. But you do want it to be a warm outside, so where the vinyl is kind of soft. That definitely helps. You don't want to do this in a low temperature when it's kind of cold, because the vinyl hardens and it just becomes a lot harder to work with. And it's pretty much off. All right, let me go to the other side and do those two. Want to make sure you clean the area where you're going to apply the decal. Alright guys, so as you guys can see, I set up my shade. That was only because my camera keeps shutting off because it was overheating. So this is what I'm going to be doing right now. Is basically just setting the decal over where I want it. I'm going to take some quick measurements from here to here, from there to there. Alright guys, so I'm going to set this in. Kind of like that. I'm going to put this probably about maybe 1.5 inches from here. So I'm going to let the windshield wipers hold that 1.5 inches high. It's about a 5-inch gap. about right there. That's about 6 inches, so I need to pull this way. Thinking something like that. Let me grab my tape measure and check it. So right there I got 6 inches. On the center of the letter I'm at 1.5. This one I am at 5.5, and at the bottom of the letter I'm at 1 5/8. So I'm gonna drop this one just a hair, and I'm gonna push it that way just a little bit. So now I'm at 5.5. I'm gonna pull on this side, so I'm at 6. Right there, felt it move. I'm at 5 3/4. Still 1.5 inches to the bottom of the letter. I'm at 5 5/8, so I'm 1/8 of an inch off. That's good. I'm at 5 5/8, so I'm gonna drop this down just a little bit. And you can actually see how it flattened down right there. So kind of right there is where I want it. Right there. That's exactly where I need it. So I'm going to lock all 4 corners. There we go. And then this is where you put your hinge. Make a big piece, longer than that decal. I'm going to put it right around here. Tape fell down. Right. I'm going to put a little bit more. I'm going to put another piece just to make sure it's nice and tight. That kind of stuck right there, but so I make sure that it doesn't come off. I'm going to put one right across the, just like that. Just make sure you don't grab this paper. You want only to grab that tape. Alright, so that's my hinge right there. I'm going to try to see if I could alright. So that's my I can actually, I feel like I can install this without even wetting the wetting the decal. And you know what? I'm gonna do that because this is all outline. If you can get away with installing this without a wet application, it'll be a lot better. So I'm gonna choose to try and do it without wetting. What I'm gonna do for this, I'm gonna stuff this in here like that. There, that way it lifts that that windshield wiper bracket out of my way. Alright, so now I can remove this tape from both of these sides. I'll put it out of the way. I'm just going to verify that this is nice and snug, and it feels like it is. So I'm just going to reapply pressure on the whole decal. Okay, the key is as soon as I drop this piece, I have to start putting pressure right there. So Let's hope it works out. Shouldn't be any issues with it. Just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and cut. Alright. So this is where you want to make sure you start putting the proper pressure evenly. There you go. You can already see that I'm gonna have a little bit of an issue having to overreach from the other side, but it's all good. I'm pretty sure I can stretch all the way over. So now this is locked in place. All right, this is. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. Drop that. Gonna do this to this side now. All right, this is gonna be a little bit of a tricky part because I have to make sure that I don't see. So this is pretty much locked in place. As long as I add even pressure, this will end up landing at exactly where I need it to go. You guys can see if I go up, it bubbles up right here. If I go down, it bubbles up on the bottom. So as long as I keep the same pressure on the whole thing in the center as I come out, it'll leave this exactly where it needs to be. So again, just add pressure just to make sure that the transfer paper adheres to the vinyl, or the vinyl adheres to the transfer paper, however you want to say it. Put this right here because it's kind of hot. I'm sorry if I'm blocking your views. I gotta reach all the way over that way. All right. This is the tricky part. I'm trying to make sure that I add it just with the pressure required. There we go. And I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't go in a specific direction. Because if it does, that's pretty much over for the decal. Alright, there. Now I can take full control back over it at this point. The reason why I chose not to wet it is because I don't know if you guys have ever tried to install a decal with outlines like this wet. It can make it really hard for the actual outline to stick to the window. It would take a long time for it to dry out and for you to be able to pull off the transfer paper. On thicker letters that have a lot of vinyl, it's a lot easier for bubbling when it's a wet application. This, you don't really have to worry so much about the bubbles because doesn't have a lot of surface area. So anyways, I'm done here. What I'm going to be doing is, let me cut a couple of these sections here so I could peel the backing in 3 sections rather than one huge one. You want to make sure you pull back at a 45 degree, nice and easy. And always make sure you keep paying attention to the vinyl. Make sure it stays there, because if it doesn't, you have the ability, or you could save it by putting it back down with your finger. I usually like to swing this. I guess I'm a little bit more of a 75-degree angle really than 45. And I like to swing this up and down. It makes it a lot easier for the transfer paper to release the vinyl. And also, in case you guys are wondering why I chose the built not bought, I was originally going to go with like the Street Riders 209, but I felt that since, you know, you guys, a lot of you guys see my truck on YouTube, see that I'm constantly working on it and doing things to it, I kind of felt it was a bit of an appropriate phrase for this truck, so that's why I went with this. Yeah. If I had sprayed this beforehand, trust me, this would not be this easy to peel back. At least not this soon. I would have to wait at least 15 minutes to be able to squeegee out all the solution and to make sure that everything was clear. So I'm going to kind of go over this just because that transfer paper does leave a bit of a residue, so it'll catch dust and all that stuff. So I'm just kind of going to go over it to kind of clean that up. Again, don't get carried away doing this because you can easily accidentally pull one of the corners and then rip it before you even realize that it's being pulled. So just be cautious and be patient. There's a couple little areas right here that I noticed early on when I was applying it that it caught wrinkles. So I'm going to show you guys how to get rid of those right now. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to get rid of these. I'm going to peel back this just a little bit. I know a lot of you guys are thinking like, oh shoot, you're gonna ruin it, but not really. Especially on a chrome like this, the vinyl is actually really strong. It's a lot harder than the regular vinyl. There it is. Nothing to it. Let me do this one now. Just gotta make sure you don't cut the actual vinyl, because you can easily cut it if you're not paying attention. Go. There it is. What is new? No kinks, no wrinkles. A lot of sweat because it's really hot, but it is installed. Probably, if it wasn't for that camera dying, it's probably a quick 20-minute installation. I wouldn't say more than 30 minutes, if you're being really patient. Clean all my marks that I put up here on the top. Alright guys, so that concludes the video. I hope it wasn't too long. You know, I decided to do it by myself so I can show you guys that it's actually pretty easy if you just know exactly how to do it, where to grip it from. You don't, you know, on windy days I would recommend 2 people at least, because one person can easily lose control of the situation and then ruin the decal. That's an overview of how it looks. I think it came out looking pretty awesome. You know, I was originally wanted to get a top one, but then, you know, I decided just to do the bottom ones, because personally I feel like at a show or something, on some kind of a car meet, those just stand out a little bit more than the top ones. I will tell you, I don't know whether they're legal or not. I'm gonna say probably not. I know that the top ones are legal up to a certain size. However, I only did it because there's tons of trucks out here that have them just like that. You know, some of them actually bigger than this, some of them smaller than this. I sell a lot of them for small, well, shorter ones for different car clubs. But, you know, I took my chances. I mean, the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to get a fix-it ticket. I'm going to have to take it off. You know, it's not a big deal. But I just wanted to show you guys more than anything the video on how you can install a decal. Originally, like I said, I wanted to do like a wet application, but I'll probably do something different, and you guys can check that out. For the top and the bottom, it's the same thing. You know, that doesn't have the backing across the whole front from edge to edge, so it'll be the exact same installation. You know, just measure, make sure everything's aligning on both sides, and then you're good to go. But yeah guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like it, and don't forget to turn on your notifications, the little bell. And I have a bunch more videos coming up, so go ahead and subscribe, and see you guys on the next video. See ya.